Hello everyone, welcome back to the session on specifically technical interviews in C aptitude. In this section, we are going to look at dynamic memory allocation, the questions which are usually asked in technical interviews related to dynamic memory allocation. So let's look at that first. Memory allocated with calloc is or calloc is by default initialized to 0. Is it true or false? For calloc, it is true. Which header file should be included to use the functions like malloc and calloc? It is stdlib.h. If you have answered as alloc.h, it is fine. In certain compilers, it is alloc.h. Memory allocated with malloc is allocated in which segment? Is it text or data or stack or heap? So it's going to be in the heap section. Malloc returns dash pointer. What is the type of pointer malloc returns? So malloc returns generic pointer, which is void star. So malloc actually what it does is it allocates the number of bytes requested and points to that memory. It returns a pointer to that memory. If malloc successfully allocates memory, it returns the number of bytes it has allocated. Is it true or false? It is actually false, because malloc returns the address to which it has allocated the memory. Memory allocated with malloc is by default initialized to 0. Is it true or false? The answer is false. Malloc does not reset, only calloc does. In malloc, you will have to reset using a memset function. Usually the difference between malloc and calloc is asked in interviews. So this is one of the difference. So let's look at a question. Let's look at an interesting question. This is again related to malloc and pointers, right? So this question, what we are doing is we are allocating 4 into size of n. So 16 bytes of memory is allocated, and we are initializing that, right? For I equal to 0, I less than 4. We are initializing that array with 0, 10, 20, 30, right? Those are the 4 values we are allocating. Then we have a set of pointer operations, and you can pause here and guess your answers, and then probably I'll again open Python tutor and explain the answers to you. So you can pause here and write down your answers. I'll open Python tutor and ask the answers. So let's look at this question. We'll go one step at a time. So the memory is allocated. It is initialized with 0, 10, 20, 30. Now first is printf %d star s plus plus. So star s has a value of 0. Once that value 0 is printed, then s will point to the second location. So yes, you have printed the value 0, and then you have s pointing to the second location. So in the second location, star s, and you have a bracket plus plus. So this will not increment the pointer, but it will increment the value in that particular location because you have an open bracket and close bracket. Yes, it has incremented the value there. It returns the value 10 because that's the value which is there in s before it incremented. Third is star s. So it actually points here. The value there is 11. So it prints 11. Fourth one, star of plus plus s. So what is plus plus s? Pointer moves to the next location 20 and the value there in 20, which is 20, right? So it moves there, it prints the value 20. Plus plus star s. So the value here, right, gets incremented. So the value is there, which is 20. It gets incremented by 1. 21 is getting returned. The pointer still remains in the same location. So we've looked at all the combinations in this question. Hopefully it helped you understand both pointers and dynamic memory allocation. So in this section, where is the memory allocated for each of these variables, right? For R, it is allocated in the local stack. Static int p equal to 20, it is allocated in the initialized data segment. Int x equal to 20 is global. It's again initialized data segment. Int y is allocated in the uninitialized data segment. Register int k is allocated in the register. Int star ptr equal to malloc of 10, it is allocated in the heap segment. So that's the answer for this particular question. So we have discussed some of the really important ones. Let's get on to the very important question which is usually asked in the interview. So what is happening in this particular program? There is an error in the above code. What is it? So ptr equal to malloc of 10, and then you're calling the function. Within the function you have a local pointer ptr where you're allocating 100 bytes and you're returning from that function. Again that function is called where you're allocating 100 bytes and you're returning back to the main function. What is the error in this particular code? So the error here is, it's called the memory leak error. What is a memory leak? If this program continuously runs for some time, then the system would run out of memory, right? The process would run out of memory. That's what would happen. So why is it a memory leak? If you look at it within the function, you're doing a malloc and then you're returning. You have never deallocated that memory, right? So ptr gets killed at the end of the function, but that malloc, no one actually can use that memory anymore. Till that program is over, that memory is blocked. So this is called memory leak, and you can identify memory leaks using a function, a tool called valgrind. Valgrind is a tool which is usually used to identify memory leaks. So you can download valgrind on a Linux system and then try using it. If you run valgrind on this particular program, it will show you that there is a leak in this particular code. So with this, we come to the end of the dynamic memory allocation section. Some of the usually asked questions in dynamic memory allocation. Realloc is not that popular. You can look at realloc syntax. You can probably note down points of difference between malloc and calloc. For example, malloc takes one argument, calloc takes two arguments. Malloc does not reset the memory. Calloc actually resets the memory to 0 before it returns to the user. So you can look at those answers and have it handy. But these are usually the most popular questions. If you have some other questions, feel free to add it to the comment section. I'll add those as well and add the explanation. If you have any comments, any doubts, you can add it in the comment section. I will answer that as well. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks.